Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Uloma. If you're new here, thank you so much for subscribing. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for staying. So, guys, I make lifestyle, straight talking videos, and pretty much anything that interests me. So, I have been talking about spirituality, I've been talking about awakening, and I'm going to be talking about that a lot, at least for now. Of course, we're going to do other fun things, but I just feel called to share some of this knowledge that I have. And so we're going to be talking about sex and spirituality and spiritual awakening, how it affects sex, if it affects your ability to um, have sex, or if it affects the sex quality or enhances the sex quality. So we are going to be talking about all that. But first of all, let's talk about, sex as we have come to know it, or as I have come to know it. A lot of us, we grow up learning sex from porn, learning from word of mouth, and people telling us what to do, how to feel. At one point, sex was pleasure centered only on men, like only men were allowed to have sex. As we progress in society, it came to the light that okay, women to have the ability to enjoy sex, and we should also focus on women's sexuality. So, but all in all, sex has always been performative because of how we've come to know it. We've come to know it as body obsessed, body part obsessed, um, youth obsessed. We just want to scratch an inch. And the thing is, most of the time it stemmed from porn. Like if you go and type in porn and type in most search videos in porn, it's about teen porn, which is going to tell you that sex was driven by youth and vulnerability and innocence and um, naivety. That's what sex has always centered on. So, but and this has made us, because that is our own first experience with sex. If you go again, check again, the second um most search genre of porn is also all this king porn where the women are made to gag. You see like very huge male organ. I don't know, I don't want you to ban this video. Very huge male organ trying to destroy the pom pom. You know what I mean? It's just all about performative, different Kama Sutra, different styles, different. It's not. It's just body focused. Okay. Now, what spiritual awakening does to you, then, what it does to you is it makes sex now conscious focus, soul focus, spirit focus. You know why from inception I was never a supporter of the hookup culture. I don't think it's bad. I don't think the hookup culture. I don't think the hookup culture is good or bad. But I feel that because it's pure body, and also I feel that it harms women. I don't mean that it makes women less of a value or I'm trying to tap into purity culture. No, I'm not saying that. It's just that when a woman goes to hook up and she just wants a man for sex, there's this thing the man does. The man does not really see the woman as a human or something to love. Okay, I'm not saying that there are no cases so where hookups have led to marriage, but this is a typical scenario. They see her as a meat, so they become unkind. And why I do not support the hookup culture is that a lot of people who engage in this, especially women, they are exposing themselves to violence because most male once they see that there is nothing, they don't want anything to do with you, they tend to be violent towards you. That's not the case for everybody, but it is most common. Like look at the way society treats sex workers or quote unquote local prostitutes. They see them as the bottom of the barrel. You know what I mean? If a serial killer wants to attack, now the first place they go to attack is prostitutes because they feel those people are low hanging fruits. They don't see them as human beings. Okay? That's what I'm trying to say. So hookup culture, I mean, a woman is allowed to sleep with whoever she wants to sleep with. That don't have a problem with it, but it's very, very dangerous for women. So that's kind of a deviation from what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about hookup culture, but I think it's in my subconscious. So when you awaken spiritually, sex no longer become body focused. It's no longer become orgasm focus or release of fluid focus or rubbing two genitals together. It just makes you focus on true intimacy and connection. For example, if you receive a spiritual awakening, if you're awakening and you're a sex worker, I tell you that you will be more drained. You'll be drained anytime you engage in sexual intercourse with anybody. I'm talking from a woman's perspective, so I'm going to be talking to a woman. It makes you, it drains you because some people say they dissociate, they disconnect from their body. But when you attain spiritual awakening, you can no longer dissociate because consciousness becomes you. It becomes you. You're like a working beam of light. So when you lay with somebody, you give that light. And if that person is not for you, you're closing off true intimacy. What's going to happen is that there's a small portal where your energy is going to seep out from, and the person you're laying with takes your energy away. That's why when you're done, you become drained. Now, when you are awakened, you will not care for meaningless sex anymore. You don't want meaningless sex. You don't want the hookup. You just want true intimacy. You want a soul to soul connection. That's what you will begin to crave for. In fact, anything that doesn't align with you trying to have that soul sex, spirit sex, anything that doesn't align with you totally drains you. So you're going to be drained. That's why I tell people awakening is not all fun. Awakening brings a lot of things to the forefront. It makes you very sensitive. It even makes you very sensitive to energy. If I'm squinting my eyes, I have my phone light on. I'm recording this on a phone, so I have my phone light on. So I'm just looking directly at the camera. So if I'm squinting, please bear with me. So what awakening does to you is sex is no longer performative. You don't have to perform. I'm not saying perform in the sense that you wouldn't try different positions that feels good. I'm not saying that, but it's not all about what I can do to please my body self and or what I can do to please the man. You go into that very deep state of intimacy that body connection doesn't really matters. What matters is the soul connection, the soul dance, the spirit dance. That's what matters. You begin to dance with your soul. Everything connects. It goes away from the body, and you can only achieve that through somebody that you have unlocked several levels of intimacy with. So you cannot achieve that kind of sexual intercourse with just a one night stand or with somebody you're doing hookup with or with someone you're just rubbing genitals with someone you do not have that soul connection with. Now, how do you get that soul connection with somebody? You get that soul connection with somebody if you look beyond the physical. Now, the physical is important. Um, the physical is important. Body is important. We are attracted to who you're attracted. You see someone, you're attracted to the person first. But it takes conscious effort and it takes when you're physically attracted to a person, at some point it dies off. It dies off and you start becoming performative. A lot of relationships these days are performative. That's why when there is a bump in that relationship, there's all sorts of there's divorces, there's strife, there's disagreements. People do not seem to come eye to eye. There's a misunderstanding. But if you have connected intersolely, like you're fused inside. I don't know how to explain this. Your spirit are fused together. No matter what it is, you're going to find yourself attracting each other. Okay, and the sex with you and that person, I'm talking about monogamous relationship right now. The sex with you and that person becomes like a psychoactive drug. Instead of draining you, you get a high from it. Now, casual sex, hook up, they drain you. If you're in an awakening and you still engage in that, they drain you. That's why some sex workers who received an awakening and they were not able to do their jobs anymore. They complained of drain. Sex in awakening um, gives you a high, and you can only build that with a person if you have unlocked several levels of intimacy. And how you can unlock those levels of intimacy is through conscious love. You love this person beyond the body. You love this person beyond what they can offer. You love their soul. You love their totality, and they love you back. So that when you do the sex dance, when you do the soul dance, you transcend into an orgasmic plane. Now, this orgasmic plane is is 10 times beyond what you get through toys and through just laying down with a body. In fact, you begin to crave this relationship, this association, this dance. It's like a high. Some people, they are so bonded that, and they've so bonded and they've unlocked these levels of intimacy that when one dies, you see, like a couple, when one of them dies, it doesn't get to like 1 year, 2 years, the other person dies. It's because they have transcended beyond body, they have transcended beyond what they look like. The the intimacy now is within the soul, is in the soul. Uh, I don't believe that soulmates, you wait for your soulmate. No. Soulmates are created. It's not easy to find that kind of intimacy at all. But if we switch to that mindset, to that consciousness that I love your very being, and look beyond the body, I tell you, you are going to unlock these levels. And when these levels are unlocked, oh my God, sex is wonderful. Orgasm is bliss. You already are a very sensitive person. You're already sensitive to energies. You're already sensitive to pleasure, to pain. I am yet to talk about the not so good parts of spiritual awakening because, of course, yes, a lot of people are not going to tell you this, but the way you feel pleasure is the same way you feel pain, and now you're very sensitive to the sufferings of the world because you begin to see the world as it is. There's so much suffering, there's so much pain, there's so much pain in the air, there's so much energies that are burdened, and you feel that energy too. But I'm just here to talk about, smacky time. Yeah, and that's my favorite time. You know what I mean? Whenever you get the pleasure, it becomes a high, and sometimes you actively seek it. That's my favorite part. I don't like all the aspects of spirituality, but I will not have it any other way. My awakening has done so much for me, not only um, revive my self confidence, also stepping into the light is awesome. Okay, I just wish everyone can have this awakening and begin to feel the way I feel, especially when the times are good, when all variables have aligned and you are entering the good phase, or you are in the good phase where it's pleasurable. Oh my God, there is nothing as pleasurable as that. What sex after awakening does is that it strips you of the things you've known about sex. You know what I mean? It strips you of it, and it brings to light the deepest meaning of intimacy. And that is what most people crave. Most people do not crave sexual intercourse. Inside of them is real intimacy with someone. That soul intimacy with someone that they crave. And spiritual awakening help you not only get there fast, but help you recognize, okay, when you begin to enter that realm of unimaginable pleasure. All right, guys. That's it for me today. I'm going to see you when next I post. Bye. Bye bye.